Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm making a fall themed thank you card using one of the newly released stamp sets from Avery Elle Out Nuts. If you're following me on Instagram, you might have seen that I have won 4 stamp sets from the new Avery Elle release with their giveaways that they do when the release is almost there, and I'm really lucky. So today I am using one of these stamp sets for the first time, and I'm super excited about how this card turned out. So this card is completely fall themed. The stamp sets are amazing for fall. The colors that I used are fall in my opinion. And then also what you just saw me doing was stamping out these images onto Neenah Desert Storm, which is some sort of a craft cardstock color, which really helps with the theme of the fall. Also, I saw some people do it, coloring in with their Copic markers some of these cardstocks, so I wanted to try it out myself. And I must admit, normally I'm coloring onto Neenah 110, so this paper is much thinner than what I'm used to. So I was really careful with the blending that I wasn't oversaturating the paper, because if you do that, sometimes you can get a lot of bleeding, so it goes outside of the edges of your image, and it's really hard to control, but that's when you oversaturate it. So I really try to keep the blending as minimal as possible. Also on this color, for example, it was a bit harder, and I did some flicking just to help me with the blending. Flicking with your Copic markers, in my opinion, is really a handy technique if you have some trouble with certain combinations of colors that you want to blend. I will also do the same technique with the greens, because there is a huge range between the two colors that I will be using. So for these images, I'm keeping it to browns, a few greens, and then red, to really keep it in the warm tones, and then my little mouse will be with warm grays. And I actually was really surprised by the finished images. I really like the effect that it has on this cardstock, and I think I will do it more, definitely when I'm using some fall themed stamps. It just really helps with the theme. So here you can see me do some flicking again, because these two colors are really far apart, but I like it, so I use them. So the other sets that I won was the Nordic patterns, which I want to use on some die cut mugs. Then Boo to You, which is adorable. So far I haven't got any Halloween stamp sets, because I normally don't do Halloween cards. I must admit, this year there are a lot of Halloween stamp sets that I really liked. For example, also the one from Hello Bluebird, but then again, it's really hard to get my hands on in Belgium. So I haven't gotten that one, but I'm so glad with the Boo to You. It's also one of these stamps that were released this year that I thought of, oh my gosh, maybe I should try to make some Halloween cards. So I'm really planning on doing that with this amazing stamp set. And then I also got the Christmas cookies, which is adorable. So in the future you may expect some cards using those stamps as well. So there are some smaller stamps in this stamp set that are really gorgeous for backgrounds. In this case, I really wanted to add these leaves that are floating through the air on the background, but then I thought, okay, I need a mask first. So I'm stamping my images again onto some full stick post-it notes. I really like using the full stick post-it notes to create masks. You can reuse them often, which I like because I don't like fussy cutting, and if I can use a mask multiple times, I will definitely go for that. I also have the Inkadinkado stamping mask paper, and I must admit that one usually lasts for like one single card, which is not that handy. But the post-its really are reusable a lot, except when you are using a lot of water, of course, but that's not the case for this card. So that helps. So I'm just fussy cutting these two images, and then before I'm adding my images to the background to create some sort of a pattern, I am first going to stamp out my sentiment, because I want to do some heat embossing for my sentiments with gold, also a color that I really like with all the fall colors. But for my background, I was also going to use my Versamark because I just wanted some tone on tone, and that would be too sticky for the embossing powder. So first doing the embossing, and then I will stamp my background. So you see, this really is a process. I didn't plan it out, and I wanted to do all the things I was thinking about all at once, but I'm glad that I changed the order of what I was planning to do so that everything worked out fine. So I'm using my classic gold embossing powder from NUVO. This one is really gorgeous. Also, if you haven't stamped it out clearly or crisp, this one really melts smoothly, which is truly handy, and I just love this color. And then when everything is heat set, I can continue on my background. But first I'm going to remove this little mistake using my craft knife, just scratching it off, and then I can continue. So as I said previously, I'm going to do some tone on tone with my Versamark clear embossing ink. Any embossing ink will do. And I'm just taking this adorable stamp with these leaves that are floating through the air, and I really want my rose to be unique, so I'm going to twist and turn this stamp to always create another arrangement. And I will also be masking off my stitch details on the edges of this panel. And here I was thinking about how I could shift everything, but then again it wouldn't be unique, so I just decided to always replace this stamp and turn it whenever I needed to. And then it's just repetition of stamping out this adorable stamp set. I didn't go all the way to the bottom because I drew some shadow of my images, and if you just overlap with this pattern, then the idea of the grounding would be a bit lost, so that's why I didn't do that. I went over the sentiment, however, because I thought that would be cool, and I don't regret it, so that's wonderful. I'm just going all over this panel. I will skip a bit because, yeah, you know what I'm doing. I will also be adding some purple tape on the other side of this panel because, as you can see, there will also be some overlap in my stitching detail on the other side. And then once that background is finished, I am going to add this panel to a card base, of course also remove the masks, and then it's finished. So I really hope that you enjoyed this card. Let me know if you bought this release as well. I have been gifted these ones with the giveaway, but I'm planning on buying some of the Christmas stamps that I didn't got, of course. They are just too cute to miss out on. Here I'm also adding that W1 just to add a bit more darkness to those shadows, but only closest to the image I'm adding this one. So I hope that you enjoyed this video and that of course you like this card design. If you do, please give this video a thumbs up. I would truly appreciate it. If you have any questions about this card or anything else, you can always ask them down below and I will try to answer you as quick as possible. For the rest, I hope that you have a wonderful day and see you next time. Bye!